What Carson Carels just said has Flames fans absolutely ecstatic as the NHL hopeful and projected top 10 pick spoke out about if he were to get drafted to Calgary. Not to get too attached already, but fans are already ready to lay out the red carpet for the young D-man. We're going to get into all that more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and Carels is the man. Look, the Calgary Flames, the city of Calgary in general, they love it when a player comes around and talks really well about the organization. I mean, any sports franchise is going to feel that way, but with what Calgary has gone through over the past, I don't even know how many years, but with players not wanting to play here, players that have the chance to play here and hearing them say that they're down to play here, kind of awesome. We had that a little bit with actually Gavin McKenna, and now Carson Carels, who was on Flames Talk. He said, I'd be ecstatic for sure if he were to get drafted to Calgary. He said, I think Zane would probably be the first person who calls me. He'd be over the moon. I'd be really excited, and it's nice that I know the rink now, playing some games there, and I think I'd be really comfortable there. Not only would he be ecstatic, but he would be comfortable. I've lived my whole life in Calgary, and I feel the same way. I'm ecstatic and comfortable here, especially at the Dome. It's a rink I also know well. But either way, this is so phenomenal to hear because this is a player who very well could be in a Flames uniform shortly once the draft comes up. Now, the big thing for me is that there's, a very high chance that he doesn't fall to 6th. He could get drafted earlier, which you would have called me crazy if I'd said that quite a few months ago now, but there's a chance that he goes top 5 if the Flames, of course, do not move picks. And that's very realistic. We could see both Chicago and New York go after defensemen. A lot of people are even saying San Jose, that's what they need the most. Could they go for a defenseman at number 2? So there's the chance that Carels doesn't come. There's no point getting too attached, but let's just say if he were to come here, it would be great. Just like we were saying with Gavin McKenna and him saying he was down to play for the Calgary Flames as well. There's obviously different ways to take it. But let's stay on this train here. So little article here that expands on this even further from Colton Pankew, so shout out to him. But he writes, Carson Carels would be ecstatic to be drafted by the Calgary Flames. NHL 2026 draft prospect Carson Carels has been open about the fact that he would love to be drafted by a Canadian franchise. The Prince George Cougars defenseman, who was born in Cypress River, Manitoba, is projected to be one of the first players to have his name called at the draft this June. While he won't be going first overall to the Leafs, there are many Calgary Flames fans who would like to see their team take him with the 6th overall selection. If that were to happen, it sounds like the 17-year-old would be over the moon. The 6'2", 198-pound blue liner joined Sportsnet 960's Pat Steinberg and Logan Gordon for a chat on Tuesday afternoon and spoke about how thrilled he would be to hear the Flames call his name. Here's the quote again, it'd be really exciting. I'd be ecstatic for sure, Carol said. I think Zane would probably be the first person that calls me. He'd be over the moon. I'd be really excited. And the key thing for me here, how he mentioned Zane, is that so many people are saying, yes, Zane Parekh is our number 1 defenseman of the future on the right side. Carels, he can be his D partner on the left side. And they played with each other for Team Canada, of course. So they kind of have a little bit of a notion of who they are. That's why Zane would probably be the first to text there. So Carels is widely regarded for his skill on the back end, as evidenced by his 20-goal, 73-point season with the Cougs. The left shot blue liner explained that there's far more to his game than just offense, however. And that's so true. You look at these numbers and you think, why would we put another offensive defenseman with another offensive defenseman? Those usually don't happen. You can't have both D-men pinch on the same play, but don't worry, that's not the case here. He says, I'd say I'm a two-way defenseman, Carels explained. I don't really sacrifice defense for offense. I'm always taking care of my own zone first. I have a little bit of extra aggression that I usually take out on opponents by either hitting them or getting under their skin. We like to hear that. That's kind of my game. I like to be in their face, shut down those top guys. I think along those lines, I'm that guy and just a big, heavy, puck-moving defenseman that's going to create a lot of offense just by being the third wave of offense and just getting up the ice, which is, again, kind of the exact kind of player you want to have playing with Zane Parekh. I know a lot of people, including myself, would love to see Kevin Ball on a D pairing, a healthy Kevin Ball on a D pairing with Parekh, but get a guy like Carels in there and you're set literally for the future, as long as you can sign him, of course. But Hey, it's exciting to fantasize about. It really truly is. And I'm not the only one doing this. A lot of people were speaking on this. One person says this would set up an insane decor going forward. I'd be all for him at 6. I think he's a top 4 player in the draft and the best D-man. And it's hard to disagree with that right now. I know all year long it was Veerhoff kind of as the top guy. Carroll shot up. Veerhoff kind of fell off a bit. Other guys came in too. You think of Smits, and I feel like there's someone else I'm forgetting here. But either way, there's some really good defensemen. Another guy says during interview process, they must have specific dialogue stating interest or not. Maybe they have a plan already. And look, that's kind of true. Maybe there's some behind the scenes stuff going on. Another person says us not getting him is going to hurt. And that's the part of getting too attached. It's kind of, you think 2 drafts ago when we had the 9th overall pick, everyone was saying, oh my gosh, we're going to get TJ Ginla. Lo and behold, Utah scoops him up. Of all teams, Utah scoops him. And then we got Zane. So it's not like it hurt us losing Teach too much. We ended up getting Zane anyway. So I'm sure whoever we end up drafting will just be attached to them right away, more so than upset about losing them. But yeah, at this point, with these fantasies going crazy, it would obviously be really nice to draft Carels. And actually, all the way back in early April, the win column came out with they've actually been doing an ongoing series of their I think draft eligible players. And Carson Carels, it doesn't say it here, but he landed at number 7, and this was a month ago. So 7th overall kind of player of the draft. So Carson Carels is exploding up the 2026 NHL draft boards. If the Flames miss out on a top forward, Carels might be the perfect partner for Zane Parekh. Keep in mind, this was said over a month ago now, and it still is kind of holding very true. What they also did here is did a kind of, I guess, player comparison. So who does he play like? Carson Carels, as we know, defenseman from Prince George. And this is, there it says, the win column rank number 7. So number 7 draft eligible player. You can kind of guess who were the 6 before him. I can't remember who specifically they were. This was a month ago. And again, this is still an ongoing series. So shout out to the win column. I think they're on number 25 or something at this point. But either way, who is he like? Well, NHL comparables, Jake Sanderson, and that is a good player to be compared to right away, much to my chagrin, an Olympic gold medalist. So, as we know, it's kind of hard to read. I honestly can't read it from where I am, but I remember reading this before. Essentially what it's saying here is that Jake Sanderson plays both ends of the ice. He's got great offense to his game. As you can see, 181 points in 303 career games. Not too bad at all. Has some size, but really good skating. And I think that's the key here for Carroll. Such a good skater. Imagine 2 good skaters on one D pairing with him and Parekh. That could be excellent. But being compared to Jake Sanderson, who is overall, I'd say, a pretty underrated defenseman in this league, that is a great comparable. And another one is Gustav Forsling, a multiple-time Stanley Cup champion. Again, here, kind of the same comparables as Sanderson. Forsling obviously very successful in terms of his team success, but not quite as offensively prominent. 220 points, and I think that says 557 games played, is still quite good, between a point every 2 and 3 games or so. But he's got such good elements to his defensive game as well, and it kind of goes with what Carels was saying about himself of almost being that third wave of offense. If you think of those really successful Panthers teams that just won back-to-back cups, it really seemed like they were hard to stop because they'd hit you with the main guys, then those kind of outside guys, and then the defensemen were still a threat as well, as Forsling obviously did well. But not bad comparables. I mean, obviously he's not getting, Nick Lidstrom comparisons. We would love that. But either way, not too bad at all. If we do end up with Carels, fantastic. Sounds like he's down to be here, which again has all of us very, very excited and happy. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. We'll still like the other guy. But as of right now, Carels is the man. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. Comes from yesterday's video, of course. This one kind of short and sweet, to be honest, but it comes from just my opinion, saying McKean doesn't have a McClue, and that one got quite a few likes there. Yeah, I don't know why McKean ranked the Flames prospect pipeline at number 9. That was honestly ridiculous. That's what yesterday's video was about, in case you missed it, but it was just kind of crazy. I didn't know you guys were going to feel so passionate in the comments about McKean, saying he's just clueless. When's the last time you ever took that seriously? And that's completely fair. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but it was kind of true. It seemed like copy-pasted content from kind of about a year ago. What's copy-pasting content? I definitely don't do that on this channel. But either way, it was quite low. Number 9, Flames should be top 3 for sure. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.